Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mitzi Catherine Lekin, and for today, we'll discuss about the Sun, Earth, and Moon system. All bodies in the solar system are in constant motion. The Earth rotates on its axis as it revolves around the Sun. It takes approximately 24 hours a day for a complete rotation to occur. This counterclockwise motion occurs from west to east, causing the Sun to appear to rise in the east and set in the west. While the Earth rotates on its axis, it is also revolving around the Sun. It takes 365 days a year for this motion to occur. The Earth revolves around the Sun in an elliptical orbit. The Moon rotates on its axis and revolves around the Earth, as the Earth revolves around the Sun. It takes about 27 Earth days for the Moon to rotate on its axis and about 29 and a half Earth days, or a month, for it to revolve around the Earth. Because the Moon's period of rotation on its axis and period of revolution around the Earth are nearly the same side of the Moon always faces the Earth. Changes in Moon's position as it revolves around the Sun results in more or less of the sun reflected from the Moon being visible when observing the Moon from the Earth. This causes the Moon to appear to change shape. As the Earth and Moon orbit and the Sun together, the pattern of day and night on the lunar surface constantly change. We refer to the percentage of illumination on the visible face of the Moon as the Moon's phase. There are 8 major named phases that have been known throughout the human history. So for the first phase, we have the new Moon. The Moon is positioned between the Sun and the Earth so that the side of the Moon that is viewed from the Earth cannot be seen. Because of this, there appears to be no moon in the night sky. Second, we have the full moon. The sunlit portion of the moon is facing the Earth, while the Earth is positioned between the Sun and Moon. The moon is visible in the sky. Third, the crescent moon, either waxing or waning, less than one and a half of the sunlit portion of the moon is visible. Next, we have the gibbous moon, either waxing or waning, greater than one and a half of the sunlit portion of the moon is visible. For the first and third quarter, one half of the sunlit portion of the moon is visible. A first quarter follows the waxing crescent. A third quarter occurs when the one half of the moon is visible. So what is the difference between waxing and waning? Basically, waxing means the moon is growing. If the moon is getting bright from the right, it is waxing. So, on the other hand, waning means the moon is shrinking. If the moon is dark on the right, it is waning. Eclipses. Eclipses occur when an object in space passes directly between two other objects or between the object and the viewer. So for our first eclipse, there are two kinds. The first is the lunar eclipse. It occurs when Earth passes directly between the Sun and the Moon, blocking the Sun's light so that the Earth's shadow hits the Moon. Casting a shadow over the Moon, this can only occur during a full moon. Second, we have the solar eclipse. It occurs when the Moon passes directly between the Sun and Earth, blocking the Sun's light and casting a shadow over a certain area on the Earth. This can only occur during a new moon. An eclipse does not occur at every new moon and full moon because of the angle of the Earth's orbit around the Earth. So, you might be wondering why we don't have a lunar eclipse every month as the moon orbits the Earth. It's true that the moon goes around the Earth, every month, but it doesn't always get in the Earth's shadow. The moon's path around the Earth is tilted compared to the Earth's orbit around the Sun. The moon can be behind the, the moon can be behind the Earth but still get hit by the light from the Sun. Because they don't happen every month, a lunar eclipse is a special event. Unlike solar eclipse, lots of people get to see lunar eclipse if you live in the nighttime half of the Earth. When the eclipse happens, you'll be able to see it. Tides. Tides are the rise and fall of the surface levels of the Earth's ocean, water, caused by the gravitational effects of the moon and the sun on Earth. The effects of tides are most noticeable along ocean shorelines. As the moon orbits sun, as the moon orbits Earth, the water of Earth closest to the moon bulge outward towards the moon. This bulge is the high tide. Another high tide occurs on the opposite side of the Earth. Low tide occurs in the areas between two tides. As the Earth rotates on its axis, any given location will rotate into and out of the tidal bulge. This results in the changes between high and low tides over the course of 24 hours. So what causes tides? Gravity is one of the major forces that creates tides. In 1687, Sir Isaac Newton explained that the ocean tides result from the gravitational attraction of the sun and the moon on the oceans of the earth. When the sun and the moon are aligned so that the moon is between the sun and the earth, or the earth is between the sun and the moon, high tides are higher and low tides are lower. And these are called the spring tides. When the sun and the moon are the right angles to each other, first and last quarter, lower high tides and the higher low tides are experienced, and these are called neap tides. So that is all for today. Thank you for listening.